That's actually a very good question. There are several reasons why you want to run a smoke system. Number one, it's cool. It looks really cool. Number two is safety. Someone says, hey, I can't see you. You can rip a puff of smoke and kind of get their attention, let them know where you're at. Number three, you can use a smoke trail to look back and see how precise your moves are. You may think you're doing a perfect loop, and in all actuality, you're making a cursive L shape instead of the circle and then coming back out. Oh, and most importantly, it looks cool. The reason I pursued developing my own smoke system, I wanted one. Several years ago, I think it was like, well, I say several, 2, maybe 3 years ago, I bought a Sullivan Skyrider. And I had intended on putting it in an airplane. And some people were like, yeah, do it, it's cool, it looks cool. Others were more along the lines of, don't do it. The residual oil will make your monocoat, your covering fall off, and your wood's soaked with oil, and you got a whole other set of problems. I wanted a smoke system, but I didn't want it to be a problem in the covering. So I set out to design a smoke system that didn't leave any that didn't leave as much residual oil on the airplane to where it's going to cause damage. And in doing that, it actually came down to the design of an injector. That's actually a good question too. I like to share. I designed this system. It works well. I was showing my friends, and they're like, wow, that's a whole lot of smoke for very little oil. And some friends thought that was actually really cool on how it works, and wanted that for themselves. Pre-manufactured smoke mufflers, and here's why. It's a very simple reason. It's about cost. So what I've been doing, and I've done this to several mufflers, I take a factory muffler. If you look like it here on the DJ85, that's a factory muffler. It's slated to be converted into a smoke muffler as well here pretty quick. I'll drill a series of holes in it. I'll install a copper preheater. Why copper? I choose copper because it has a higher heat resistance than brass or aluminum. The thing with aluminum, I tried that, and have you ever seen like a soda can in a fire after it sets, it just gets crumbly? The same thing happens with aluminum tubing. After you run it so long, it gets very soft, and you're going to get a hole in it, and you're not going to use your oil as efficiently as you should. Brass, it's heavy, but it's got a little bit lower melting temperature than copper. Aluminum melts at 1200 degrees. It starts to warp at 300, and that's going right by the exhaust ports in the muffler to preheat the oil, which is what you want. You want to get your oil just as hot as you can before it hits your injector. But if you have holes in your preheater, it's not doing you any good. So I want to make sure that the oil makes it to the injector. So I use copper tubing. I drill a series of holes, run the copper tubing in there just like a heat sink, but it does just the opposite. It absorbs the heat. Yes, it takes a couple seconds longer to get to temperature than aluminum, but it also retains the heat better. It's like the copper coils on the back of your refrigerator, older air conditioning systems and vehicles. They were all copper tubing because they performed their job well as a heat exchanger. That's what we're doing here. But I can promise you this, by the time you taxi out to your takeoff position, the copper tubing is at temperature to burn smoke oil efficiently.